There is one thing, just one, that if you do it right, will make women not only want you, but feel unable to let you go. Not your looks, not your money, not your charm, your lines, or your game. This is something far more powerful and far more dangerous. Because when this is done correctly, a woman doesn't simply choose you. She needs you. She feels pulled toward you, drawn back to you, even when logic tells her she shouldn't. And when it's done wrong, you don't create desire. You create obsession, emotional chaos, a situation you can't easily escape. So here's the uncomfortable question you need to sit with for a moment. Why is it that some men barely try, yet women can't stop chasing them, while others do everything right and still get replaced? The answer isn't flattering, but it changes everything you think you know about attraction. Attraction isn't logical, it's psychological, and once you understand the mechanism behind it, you stop guessing and you stop chasing. Before we go any further, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're here to understand women beyond fantasies and surface-level advice, you're in the right place. Now, let's talk about what women actually chase and why most men never see it coming. Most men believe attraction is built on being wanted. That if a woman wants you, your attention, your presence, your effort, you're doing something right. And at first that feels reassuring. Want feels like progress. Want feels like validation, but want is weak. A woman can want many things at the same time. She wants affection, she wants stability, she wants excitement, she wants to feel desired. None of those wants bind her. None of them anchor her. Want is optional, and anything optional can be replaced the moment something slightly better appears. Need is different. Need isn't a preference. It's not a conscious decision. Need operates below logic, below standards, below promises. When something is tied to a woman's sense of emotional stability, when it becomes part of how she regulates how she feels, she doesn't simply choose it, she orbits it. Think about how easily wants shift. She wants a certain lifestyle until another lifestyle feels more appealing. She wants a certain man until another man offers a better version of the same feeling. Want has a short memory. Want is loyal only to convenience. But need doesn't behave that way. Need is rooted in emotional survival. It's what the nervous system reaches for when it wants relief, grounding, stimulation, or reassurance. When a woman needs something, removing it creates discomfort. Anxiety, a sense of lack she can't ignore, and the mind will do almost anything to eliminate that discomfort. This is where most men lose the plot. They work endlessly to be wanted, more attentive, more available, more accommodating, without realizing that every time they make themselves easily accessible, they reinforce one dangerous truth. I am replaceable, because if you give her everything without friction, without tension, without emotional consequence, you teach her that your presence isn't essential. It's optional, and optional things are always the first to go. When attraction shifts from want to need, the dynamic changes completely. She doesn't evaluate you the same way. She doesn't compare you rationally. She doesn't ask whether you're the best option. She asks herself how she feels without you, and she doesn't like the answer. This is the distinction that rewires attraction at its core. Women replace what they want. They chase what they need. And until you understand that difference, not intellectually, but viscerally, you'll keep mistaking effort for leverage and attention for power. Men often tell themselves a comforting story. She misses me because I was good to her, because you listened, because you showed up, because you treated her better than the last guy. That story feels noble. It also keeps you powerless. Women don't become attached to people. They become attached to states, emotional states, psychological experiences, the way their body settles or lights up around a specific man. When a woman says she misses you, she's not longing for your personality traits. She's not replaying your effort. She's responding to the absence of a feeling she no longer has access to. Calm, excitement, relief, tension, validation, whatever state you triggered in her nervous system. That's why two men can behave in completely opposite ways and still create obsession or indifference. One man can be attentive, consistent, emotionally available, and still easy to forget. Another can be flawed, inconsistent, even distant, and remain impossible to replace. The difference isn't character, it's emotional dependency. Dependency forms when your presence regulates how she feels. When being with you quiets something inside her or activates something she can't generate on her own. At that point, your absence doesn't just create sadness, it creates imbalance, and imbalance demands correction. This is where logic breaks down. She may know you're not perfect. She may even know the relationship isn't ideal, but knowledge doesn't override dependency. The body pulls harder than the mind, and the body always seeks what restores equilibrium. This is why women leave men they should want and chase men they can't explain. This is why doing everything right doesn't guarantee loyalty, and this is why trying harder often makes things worse. Here's the line most men need to hear without flinching. She doesn't miss you. She misses how she feels when she's with you. Once you understand that, attraction stops being mysterious. It becomes mechanical. Not in a manipulative sense, but in a precise one. You stop performing for approval and start recognizing leverage. Because the moment you become the source of an emotional state she can't easily replace, comparison ends, competition fades, and chasing begins, quietly, internally, often before she's even aware of it herself. Every woman carries an emotional gap. Not because she's broken, not because she's weak, but because modern life quietly creates shortages where they hurt the most. Pressure to perform, pressure to be composed, pressure to be desirable, independent, agreeable, ambitious, often all at once. Over time, something gets neglected, something goes unmet, and that absence becomes a void. An emotional void isn't dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It operates silently, shaping preferences, reactions, and attraction patterns without ever asking for permission. And once you know how to see it, you start understanding women in a way most men never do. This void isn't about what she says she wants. It's about what her nervous system is starving for. There are 4 primary emotional voids that drive female attraction. Not dozens, not infinite variations. 4, and every woman carries at least one as dominant. Validation, excitement, escape, challenge. These aren't personality traits. They're emotional deficits, gaps created by routine, by expectation, by social pressure, by boredom, by overexposure to men who all feel the same. And when one of these voids goes unfilled for long enough, it begins to pull. That pull is attraction. When a man unknowingly fills one of these voids, he doesn't feel special. He feels confusing, hard to explain, difficult to replace. She may not even label it as attraction at first, just a sense that being around him feels different, necessary, stabilizing, or electrifying in a way she can't manufacture on her own. This is where power enters the equation. Because when you become the source that fills an emotional void, you stop being evaluated like other men. You're no longer competing on the same scale. She doesn't weigh you against options. She weighs you against the discomfort of losing access to that emotional relief. But this power isn't neutral. Filling an emotional void creates dependence. Dependence creates attachment. And attachment, when mishandled, slides quietly into obsession. That line is thin, and most men don't even realize they've crossed it until they're trapped inside a dynamic they can't control. Understanding the void doesn't just explain attraction, it explains why it can turn dark when handled without awareness. And now that you see the map, the real question becomes, which void is she carrying? And how does it change everything that follows? Validation is the most misunderstood force in attraction. Most men think more validation equals more desire, more compliments, more reassurance, more affirmation. And at first it seems to work. She smiles, she responds, she leans in. Then something shifts, because validation doesn't create attachment when it's constant. It creates comfort, and comfort, when it's predictable, becomes invisible. The nervous system stops responding to what it can count on. What's always available stops carrying value. Women live in a world of evaluation. Social media, work, dating, attention is everywhere. And because it's everywhere, it's cheap. So validation only becomes powerful when it's unpredictable, when it's earned, when it's selective. This is why inconsistent validation, given deliberately, not carelessly, hits so much harder than endless praise. When she doesn't know when she'll receive your approval, her mind fills in the gaps. Dopamine spikes, anticipation builds. She starts adjusting her behavior subtly, unconsciously, to regain that feeling. Not because she wants to impress you, but because her nervous system wants the reward again. Give validation too freely, and you teach her that your approval has no cost. Withhold it entirely, and you create distance without connection. But when validation comes and goes with intention, it becomes something she chases without realizing she's chasing it. Then there's excitement. Most women aren't bored because their lives are empty. They're bored because their emotional landscape is flat. Routine, responsibility, predictability, the same conversations, the same outcomes, the same men saying the same things in slightly different voices. Excitement isn't about chaos, it's about contrast. A man who introduces emotional spikes, moments that feel different, unexpected, charged, cuts through that flatness instantly. He doesn't overwhelm, he disrupts. He creates tension where there was none, curiosity where there was familiarity. This is why excitement is addictive, not because it's loud, but because it breaks the pattern. Unpredictability activates attention. Teasing activates play. Mystery activates imagination. And imagination does more work than effort ever could. Once her mind starts filling in emotional gaps on its own, you've stepped out of the role of entertainer and into the role of stimulus. Here's the truth: most men resist. Women don't get addicted to men. They get addicted to the emotional experience men provide. Validation makes her feel seen. Excitement makes her feel alive. When you become the source of both without over-delivering either, you stop being one option among many. You become the emotional high she can't replicate on demand. And once that happens, attraction no longer needs persuasion. It sustains itself. Escape is one of the most underestimated forces in attraction because it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. It looks quiet, subtle, almost boring, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. Most women are always on managing impressions, managing responsibilities, managing expectations, work, family, social pressure, appearance, performance, even relaxation often comes with an unspoken requirement to stay composed. Very few spaces allow her to drop all of that. When a man becomes a place where she doesn't have to explain herself, impress, or hold it together, something shifts. Her body relaxes around him, her mind slows down, the constant internal noise fades. That relief is not intellectual, it's physical, and once the nervous system associates you with that feeling, it starts craving access to it. Escape isn't about fixing her problems, it's about temporarily removing her from them. You become the environment where she can exhale, where she doesn't have to be on brand, where there's no performance, no evaluation, no pressure to maintain control. That kind of emotional relief is rare, and rarity creates value. Then there's challenge. This is the part most men misunderstand because they confuse challenge with arrogance or coldness. That's not what creates attraction. What creates attraction is resistance. The uncomfortable truth is this: most men are easy. Easy to read, easy to access, easy to win over. They over-explain, they over-invest, they rush to prove value before any value has been earned. And ease kills desire. People place higher value on what requires effort, not because they enjoy suffering, but because effort signals worth. When a man doesn't immediately bend to please, doesn't scramble for attention, doesn't reshape himself to fit expectations, he introduces friction, and friction creates focus. A man who has standards, boundaries, and a life that doesn't orbit around approval becomes a natural challenge. Not by acting distant, but by being anchored. He doesn't chase validation, so his attention feels meaningful when it's given. Scarcity doesn't mean absence, it means selectivity. When your time, energy, and approval aren't automatically available, they carry weight. She can't assume access. She has to engage, to lean in, to invest. Escape makes her feel safe. Challenge makes her feel stimulated. Together they form a powerful loop. Relief paired with tension, comfort paired with pursuit. And once that loop is established, attraction stops being something you push for. It pulls her in on its own terms. At this point, most men make the same mistake. They start trying to be all four things at once: more validating, more exciting, more comforting, more distant. And in doing that, they dilute everything. You don't need to fill every emotional void. You only need to recognize the one she's already carrying. And you don't do that by listening to what she says she wants. You do it by watching what she complains about. Complaints are leaks. They reveal shortages. If she constantly talks about how bored she is with dating, how all guys feel the same, how nothing excites her anymore, that's not cynicism. That's a hunger for stimulation. Her system is craving novelty, unpredictability, emotional spikes. She doesn't need reassurance, she needs contrast. If she talks about being overwhelmed, exhausted, stretched thin, constantly needed by everyone around her, that's not drama, that's pressure. She's carrying too much. What she needs isn't fixing, it's relief, a place where she doesn't have to perform or manage anything at all. If she fishes for compliments, downplays herself, or subtly seeks reassurance, pay attention. That's not vanity, that's a validation gap. And flooding her with praise won't solve it. Strategic selective approval will. And if she seems unimpressed by men who chase her, dismissive of attention, bored by effort, that's not arrogance. That's a challenge void. She's surrounded by availability. What's missing is resistance. The key here is restraint. You don't exaggerate your role. You don't perform. You don't force behaviors that don't align with who you already are. You simply occupy the role that fits the gap. When you do that, attraction doesn't feel manufactured. It feels natural, effortless, almost accidental, because you're no longer trying to create desire. You're responding to an existing imbalance. And imbalance, when addressed correctly, always pulls attention toward its solution. There's a line most men never see until it's already behind them. Desire and obsession don't announce when one becomes the other. The transition is quiet, gradual. It happens the moment a woman stops wanting access to you and starts needing it to feel balanced. When you become the source of emotional regulation, you hold real power. Not symbolic power, not alpha fantasy power, psychological power, the kind that can pull someone towards you even when they're conflicted, even when they know better. And that's where things get dangerous, because power amplifies who you already are. In the hands of a weak man, it turns into manipulation. He enjoys the chase too much. He withholds to feel important. He feeds dependency because it makes him feel secure, and eventually the dynamic collapses under its own weight into resentment, chaos, or emotional damage on both sides. In the hands of a grounded man, power looks different. He doesn't exploit the void, he respects it. He understands that creating emotional pull doesn't mean trapping someone inside it. He knows when to apply tension and when to release it, when to step forward and when to step back. Strength isn't about seeing how deeply you can hook someone. It's about knowing you don't need to. When attraction crosses into obsession, it stops being desired. It becomes fear of loss, and fear is never a stable foundation. It erodes trust, it distorts behavior, it turns connection into control. This is why the most dangerous men aren't the ones who lack influence, but the ones who never learnt restraint. If you choose to understand these dynamics, understand this as well. Mastery isn't measured by how many people chase you. It's measured by how responsibly you handle the pull you create. Because the same mechanism that makes you unforgettable can also make you destructive, depending entirely on who's using it. Attraction isn't about doing more. It never was. It's about positioning yourself in a woman's emotional world in a way that can't be casually replaced. When you stop trying to be impressive and start understanding how emotional dependency actually forms, you stop chasing outcomes. You start creating gravity. The one thing that changes everything is this. Becoming the source of an emotional experience she cannot easily generate on her own. Not through force, not through performance, and not through manipulation, but through presence, restraint, and psychological clarity. When you understand the difference between want and need, you stop confusing effort with value. When you understand emotional dependency, you stop taking rejection personally. And when you recognize emotional voids, you stop guessing and start seeing patterns most men never notice. This is what puts you back in control, not control over her, but control over yourself, your reactions, your boundaries, your availability, your standards. And paradoxically, that's what makes attraction sustainable instead of desperate. A man who doesn't beg isn't ignored. A man who doesn't chase isn't invisible. A man who understands his leverage doesn't need to prove anything. If this shifted the way you see attraction even slightly, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, so this message reaches the men who need it, and share it with someone who's still stuck trying harder instead of thinking deeper. And if you've ever been in a situation where a woman couldn't let go or where you couldn't understand why she pulled away, leave a comment, not for validation, for reflection. Because the moment you stop asking, how do I make her want me, and start asking, why does she feel different when I'm gone, you're no longer playing the same game.